A very difficult stretch to the All-Star break that started with a challenging road trip through Atlanta and St. Louis has turned into a springboard to the summer. The bats and arms have joined together and have one last chance to shine before heading east for a very important homestand. Even the biggest baseball optimist couldn't have envisioned what the Phillies have done on this road trip so far. They enter play today, the final day of this 7-day road trip, with a 5-1 record against the Braves and the Cardinals. The crowd's filing in for a little day baseball here in St. Louis. And now the numbers dictate success for the Phils across the board on this road trip. 5 wins, 31-14. That's what they've outscored the opponent on this road trip. The bullpen outstanding. The starters have gone deep into games. And, of course, overall, the Phillies hitting .274. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Jamie Moyer. This has been a great road trip for the Phillies. We've talked about it over the last several days. You can point to every facet of the game, but I think it all starts, like a lot of success does, with the starting pitching.
It does start with the starting pitching, and I think the Phillies have proved that now to themselves. Their starters over the course of this road trip have averaged over 7 innings per start. And through this graphic, you'll see a lot of positives from the starting rotation, and hopefully they can build off of this with the good defense that they've been able to support their pitchers and also the great offense that's really kind of come to light.
Yeah, even you look at Roberto Hernandez, 6 innings, 5 earned runs against the Braves, but he really battled to get through those 6 innings and give the Phillies a chance to win. Now, yesterday, Cole Hamels, for the second time of this road trip, was outstanding. He fought through some trouble spots, and it wasn't until late in the game when he faced Matt Holliday that he really fell off the brink.
Yeah, Cole, again, didn't have his best stuff yesterday, but figured out a way to get through 7+ innings. And really, we've seen him at times not having his best stuff and struggling a little bit. Here yesterday, he didn't have his best stuff and got through the 7 innings, as I said, but right there made a mistake to Halladay, and really that double was the turning point of the game.
Halladay was expecting a changeup that was down in the dirt. He got one up in the strike zone, and he didn't miss it. Now, he's had himself a heck of a career. Just picked up his 1,000th RBI.
Yeah, Matt Halladay has had a very steady career, and he's been a very solid player in the outfield. But even more importantly, as an offensive player, he's really done a lot of good things. He's got a lot of home runs. He seems to always come up in the key situations, and the more he's given the opportunity to face a pitcher, I think the tougher he becomes.
Well, and this was a transition time for the St. Louis Cardinals. He used to support Albert Pujols. Now he supports a lot of these young hitters for the St. Louis Cardinals. So it is the final day of this road trip for the Phils. Kyle Kendrick on the mound for the Phillies, and Carlos Martinez making his second straight spot start for the St. Louis Cardinals. And speaking of Kyle Kendrick, well, he's won back-to-back games. That's been huge for the Phillies. When we return, we'll talk about Kyle, who does like to pitch here at Busch Stadium. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Budweiser, a reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting. Designated driver. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. This afternoon in St. Louis, a lot of stuff going on in the sports world, including Game 4 between the Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. You know, there's certain guys that pitch well in certain places, and Kyle Kendrick, today's starting pitcher for the Phillies, just seems to pitch very well here in St. Louis. Back in 2012, Jamie, he had what I thought was one of his best ever outings on the mound.
His first career complete game shutout was here in St. Louis in 2012, and you're going to see some highlights here. And from this game, again, you'll see a lot of good execution down, balls running off the plate, but these are all pitches that are looking like strikes, some of them staying in the strike zone with movement, but the ones that aren't in the strike zone cross the plate as strikes and really caught the hitters, I thought, off guard. And I think that's what makes Kyle so special. Right there is a backdoor sinker for strike 3 to end the game. That's what makes Kyle so special, and this is what allows him to have his success.
Yeah, the two-seamer, which I think has become a bread-and-butter pitch for him, was very effective that day. Now, look at the numbers here in St. Louis, a 2.89 ERA.
Yeah, and that's what, again, where Kyle has to pitch. And that tells you, too, he's forcing that defense, or excuse me, forcing the offense to hit the ball in the ground, allowing his defense to play behind him. And that's where Kyle is going to have most of his success, and that's what we saw in his previous outing against Atlanta, and that's what he needs to bring into today's game as well.
All right, well, speaking of Kyle Kendrick, Murph got a chance to catch up with the Phillies starting pitcher.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Here with Kyle Kendrick, who will pitch the final game of this road trip, and it's been a pretty good road trip so far. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about your last start against Atlanta, arguably your best of the season so far. What was working so well against the Braves that night?
I think just was down, attacking the zone, getting ahead. The biggest thing for me is just strike one and being down. I think I did that pretty well last start, and just got to carry it into the next one.
There was so much talk about getting through those early innings for you, and you talked about maybe changing things up before that start, doing something different before you got out there on the mound for the first inning. Did you do that?
Yeah, I went out there a little earlier and just started my warm-up stuff earlier than normal. I threw like a first inning, and then I sat down for about 10-15 minutes and went from the windup. And also, I think the weather helped. I like pitching in the heat. It gets me a little looser. But, I think what really comes down to, like I said, is just, making quality pitches and getting ahead for me.
Well, you'll get the heat in St. Louis, no doubt about it. I was talking to AJ after his start, after his win here in St. Louis, and I asked him about a friendly competition between the starters and how you all kind of thrive off of one another, and that really seems to be what is happening right now. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, definitely. I think it started with Cole, in the role he's been on, and, nobody... none of us five guys want to be that weak link, so you just try to, push each other. And like I said, I think it started with Cole. We just kind of, went from there.
Can that kind of thing also translate to the bullpen? Because those guys have been, equally as good.
Definitely, for sure. They've, like you said, they've been throwing well. A lot of young, good arms, come out of there. And I think confidence is going to be big for them. If they can go out there and keep putting up zeros, and they'll just grow from there.
When the team was struggling, there was a lot of talk about having to, get on a little bit of a run and get the confidence maybe back inside that clubhouse. It seems that you guys have done that at the end of that road, or at the end of the homestand on this road trip. Is there a different feel right now inside the clubhouse?
Yeah, I think everyone's confidence is pretty high. I mean, we're winning games, putting a little winning streak together. That's always good. Guys are coming to the park, feeling like we have a good chance of winning. And I think it starts, with pitching. If we can keep putting up zeros and keeping our team in the game, we're going to score some runs. We've been doing that. And the bullpen's been doing their stuff. I think everyone just has to, worry about themselves and take care of their jobs, and that's how you win games.
Too early to start looking at the standings?
Yeah, it's too early for that. We know where we're at. We definitely know where we're at. We just got to keep doing what we're doing right now.
Keep taking care of business. Well, you'll get a chance to do that here in St. Louis, Kyle. Thanks for your time. Tom, let's send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. We appreciate that. When we return, we'll go to the Comcast Sportsnet studios. One of the other storylines here this afternoon is Jimmy Rollins, who has a 15-game hitting streak on the line. some offensive support here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Ben Revere's back in the starting lineup. He'll be followed by Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley. Ryan Howard is the cleanup hitter, then John Mayberry and Dominic Brown. In the bottom third of Cody Ashe, Cameron Rupp making his first major league start of the season, and Kyle Kendrick. And they'll face 22-year-old right-hander Carlos Martinez, who's making his second start of the year, second spot start, 0-3. With an ERA of 4.19. And Jamie, sometimes this kid can be lights out. Other times he struggles with his secondary pitches.
Yeah, he's got a big arm. You're going to see a 97-mile-an-hour fastball with a pretty good curveball. Beyond that, the sliders, he has one, but he doesn't really have command of it. And a changeup that he throws, I think, a little reluctantly.
Well, here is the Budweiser scouting report. Made 12 postseason appearances last season for the Cardinals.
He's got a big arm, and I think that's what the Cardinals are really excited about. Now it's a matter of trying to develop that arm.
Ben Revere hitting .280 on the season. He dribbles one to the right, and Martinez will throw him out. So one away, one quick out here in the first. And that'll bring Jimmy Rollins to the plate.
Okay, it's time now for our Nissan keys of the game, and the first key today is being patient and get to Martinez's fastball and end the trip with a W. Make this trip a great trip and bring hopefully some winning energy home to Philadelphia.
Yeah, the Phillies have struggled at home, but if they win here today, they'd be 6-1 on this road trip. Jimmy Rollins is 3 for 12 in the series. He's hit in 15 straight games, and he has just one hit in each of those 15 games. It's the longest stretch in baseball of this variety since Ted Sizemore did it with the Cardinals. Sizemore had a single hit in 16 straight games, and Rollins rips one over to right field, and it's going to be tracked down by Alan Craig. That's one of the better balls he's hit this series. 2 outs here in the first.
I think when you're facing a guy like Martinez, where you know you're going to get a lot of fastballs, you can sit on pitches or on his fastball and look to pull it a little bit more. Or, if you choose to use the bigger part of the diamond, try to hit the ball back through the middle.
Chase Utley hitting .304, 5 home runs and 33 runs batted in. Utley also has 3 hits in this series. I should say 4 hits in this series with a couple runs scored. Take strike one. It's 0-1. Chase has reached base safely in this stadium in 25 straight games. All 25 the Phillies have played here during the regular season since it opened. He's reached base, or all 25 that he's played in. 1 ball, 1 strike to Utley. That's a fastball at the knees at 98 miles an hour. It's 1-2. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Sally Kapler of Glassboro. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, and Sally, you'll win $200. Here's hoping you do. Change up, hit foul, and it stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Overall on this road trip, Utley is 7 for 22. He's hit in 5 straight games. There was a point during this road trip where his batting average dipped under 300. Just for a moment, and then it jumped back up. Well, that fastball is at 99 miles an hour.
If you got it, use it. Right?
Well, there's been this debate from a Cardinals standpoint as to whether to keep this guy up here as a long man or a relief pitcher, or send him down to AAA and stretch him out to be a starting pitcher.
I think he signed in 2010 as a free agent with the Cardinals, and 3 or 4 years later, he's in the big leagues. young kid with a great arm.
Well, you just saw Michael Wacha. That's who he's starting for today. Wacha was scheduled to start today's ball game, but they've decided to give him a few extra days. And he'll start the next time through the rotation. 2-2 pitch to Utley. Ground ball foul. Well, Jimmy, you mentioned that Martinez was signed by the Cardinals in 2010. He was originally signed by the Boston Red Sox. He went by the name Carlos Matias when he signed a $160,000 contract with the Red Sox to be a shortstop. Then after Major League Baseball did its investigations, background checks, they realized that he was not Carlos Matias. That ball is hit out toward left center field. Matt Holliday is there, makes the catch. Side is retired. Anyway, a year later, as Carlos Martinez, he signed with the Cardinals for $1.5 million, and he was no longer a shortstop. We'll go to the bottom of the first. It's the Phillies nothing and the Cardinals coming up. Lineup for today brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Matt Carpenter leads it off at third. Matt Holliday bats second and left. Matt Adams is over at first base. He'll hit third. And then they mix it up a little bit because Alan Craig is in right field batting cleanup. Yadier Molina will be the catcher batting fifth. Batting sixth is John Jay. Johnny Peralta, the shortstop, hits seventh. Mark Ellis bats eighth, and batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Martinez. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick. 3-6 on the year, but he's won back-to-back starts. His earned run average has dipped under 4. It's at 3.97, and things have been better for Kyle over his last couple of outings.
Yeah, Kyle's actually been better because he's made a couple of simple adjustments, and he's been able to keep the ball down and not make the mistakes up. We're going to see a fastball to a sinking fastball about 89, a curveball at about 76, a cutter around 87, and a changeup at 81. With these are our Budweiser scouting report.
First pitch to Matt Carpenter is in there for strike. It's 0-1. Carpenter hitting .281, 3 home runs, 27 runs batted in. He's 2 for 6 lifetime against Kendrick. Inside, 1-1. Little different look today behind the plate. Cameron Rupp is the catcher this afternoon. Will Nieves is still battling the cramp in his quad that he sustained in Atlanta. Ryan Sandberg was saying today that it could still force Nieves to go on the disabled list because he just can't get back to 100%. But they'll wait and see how it is in the next day or so. He can hit if they need him, but he just can't run or catch. Change up outside, 3-1. Carlos Ruiz, of course, behind the plate yesterday, getting today off. Will be back behind the plate tomorrow. Out towards second to his left, Utley. Holiday's coming up. One of the reasons why Kyle had success his last couple starts is that he's limited the damage in the first inning. Prior to that, he was not limiting the damage in the first inning.
Yeah, he had 10, 11 starts in a row where he gave up at least one run in the first inning. And last start in Atlanta, he actually got a guy on, got a big double play, and got out of that first inning, and it's pretty much smooth sailing from there.
Matt Holliday, the hero in yesterday's ball game. He had a changeup from Cole Hamels into the alley in left center field that broke a 1-1 tie. Carlos Ruiz had gone out to the mound to talk to Cole Hamels, and he said, listen, Holliday's swinging pretty freely right now. Throw me a changeup in the dirt. Well, the changeup was up in the zone instead of in the dirt, and Holliday was able to get to it.
And got to it, he did. He hit it pretty well right through the left center field gap.
1 ball, 1 strike to Holliday. Now it's 2-1. Mike Matheny's jumbled his lineup up there today. It's the first time Holliday's batted second in a game since 2010. Fly ball to left field. Not deep, playable for Brown. And that'll bring Matt Adams to the plate. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. All right, so you're getting back tonight. You're going to get in the car and drive right to your local Wawa to get some Turkey Hill ice cream. You got a hankering for it?
I have on the road trip. It's a possibility.
Matt Adams takes a strike. It's 0-1. We gotta get you to be a spokesperson for them or something. Get you out to the factory. Put a hairnet on you.
That would work. I may not come back.
You may not come back, or you probably come back a little larger. 1 ball and 1 strike to Matt Adams. Adams sitting .318, 6 home runs, 25 RBIs. The ball's ripped foul. That's what you can do, Jamie. You can come up with your own flavor.
That would be fun.
Get your name in there somehow, like make it sort of a rhyme with your name. I don't know what we would be able to do with that, though. Well, they used to call you in dugout the old man.
One of them. That was one of them.
Yeah. Maybe you could make a play off that. 1-2 pitch. That'll play.
Think about that.
I think that you put all your favorite ingredients in there, although you've been sort of mixing it up a little bit. Cookies and cream is your favorite, right?
Well, actually, chocolate chip.
Oh, right. Chocolate chip. Vanilla or chocolate ice cream?
Vanilla.
All right.
You can do a lot more things with vanilla, I think, than you can with chocolate.
Outside, 2-2.
I like where this conversation's going, Tom. We may have to finish on the plane, though. Got a baseball game out here.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Long game, Jamie. Long game. Phillies are playing Adams to pull. Swing and a miss. He got him with a changeup. Boy, good pitch selection right there by Kendrick and Cameron Rupp. Side is retired in order here in the bottom of the first. We've completed our first inning here in St. Louis. Kyle Kendrick picked up his first strikeout along the way. We'll go to the seconds. the Miami Marlins, and prior to the ball game, a tribute to Jimmy Rollins. Fans are invited to get to their seats at about 6:45 for the ceremonies. A lot of surprise guests coming into town. It's also the final Hatfield Dollar Dog Night scheduled for 2014. It's a 4-game series. All 4 games are at 7:05. You can go to Phillies.com and purchase your tickets. Go to the second inning. Ryan Howard, John Mayberry, and Dominic Brown will be the hitters. Howard is 8 for 26 on this road trip. Although he's hit a little bit of a speed bump here in this Cardinals series. He's 0 for his last 8. So in a lot of trouble yesterday with Adam Wainwright's curveball, which a lot of people were having trouble with Adam Wainwright's curveball yesterday.
Well, that's Adam's MO, and that's his out pitch. He can do so many things with that curveball. You see why hitters have problems with it, because he has the ability to throw it in the dirt with 2 strikes. He can backdoor it. He can throw it short in front of the plate. He can throw it down and into the left-handed hitter. He can throw it off the right-handed hitter's hip. Plus, he has such a wide array of other pitches. Whereas today, you know, with Martinez here, you're going to see a steady diet of fastballs, and you're going to see him all around the zone.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Howard. Now 3-2.
And I see a great fastball from Martinez, but like I said, he's missed some balls way off the plate away, and a couple of balls in. I don't see him repeating his mechanics consistently, especially on that miss away from the left-handed hitter. It's almost like he's falling towards first base as he's throwing.
That one got a piece of Yadier Molina, and it stays full 3-2.
You can see him falling off here. He lands and he spins off on that front side. And there's a lot of power that he generates here.
That one he fights off and spins it down the third base line, and Howard's got a base hit. That finishes up the 0 for 8. And for Howard, it's his 4th hit of the series. Tomorrow night on Comcast Sportsnet, watch as surprise guests honor Jimmy Rollins at a pregame celebration. Then watch the Phillies take on the Marlins in Game 1 of a 4-game set. That's tomorrow at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. John Mayberry will be the batter. Mayberry playing right field today for Marlon Byrd. Ryan Sandberg said that it was time to get Marlon off his feet again. And Mayberry, he felt, was swinging a pretty good bat. 2 for 11 in the series so far.
Go.
Saw John's mom and dad again this morning. They were excited to get a chance to see their son play again. One ball and 1 strike to Mayberry, hitting .316 in his last 24 games, which includes some success at the plate as a pinch hitter. Ooh, that ball just kept on coming in and nails Mayberry.
That's that fastball I was talking about to the lefty that was running off the plate. Unfortunately, there was a right-hander in the box, and that ball ran right into him. You see that tailing fastball catches him. Looks like it catches him on the inside of the thigh.
Mayberry takes his spot over at first. Howard's at second, so the Phillies have 2 on with nobody out. And left-handed hitting Dominic Brown will be the batter. Lefties are hitting .295 against Martinez. Brown takes outside, 1-0.
I mean, here's a kid just firing the ball. I mean, it really looks like there's no method to this madness at this point. Great arm.
I mean, to me, he looks like he's a relief pitcher out there starting a game. Is that?
Yeah. I wonder what he was like from shortstop before he became a pitcher.
Well, he must have had a great arm. It's an interesting story because, you know, the Red Sox, they got him for what would be termed a bargain at $160,000 when they thought he was a 17-year-old from Puerto Playa, Dominican Republic. Inside 3-0. But once the investigation from Major League Baseball began, and they realized that he wasn't who he said he was, and he was a year older. He wasn't 17, he was 18. The Red Sox wanted him to still honor the contract, but it was voided. There's ball 4 and the bases are loaded. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Mets are on top of the Marlins 7-0. That game's in the top of the 5th inning. Daniel Murphy has 3 RBIs. Phillies will see the Marlins, who have lost 7 of 10. Phillies will see them beginning tomorrow. The way the standings are right now, the Phillies are 4 games out in the East, and they are 2.5 behind the Marlins for 3rd place. As you see, Derek Lilliquist out with Yadier Molina talking to Martinez. Nice spot here for the Phils to open it up and get the early lead.
Well, here's a nice little tidbit for you. Average fastball in Major League Baseball since 2013. Chapman's at 98.4. Rosenthal's at 97.1. And this kid Martinez is at 96.8 with Kimbrel. Oh, tied with Kimbrel at 96.8. So it's he's up top 3.
Well, that's one of the reasons why he was used so much in the postseason last year. Even though he was 21 years of age, he certainly had the ability to strike guys out. 1-0 to Cody Ashley with the bases loaded. Out. Ooh, ball and 1 strike. That's where you'd bark out from the dugout. I would think, hey, don't help him out.
It almost looked like it was in the other batter's box.
Sure did. Angel Campos is the home plate umpire. Larry Vanover, the crew chief's at 3rd. Out toward left center field. On the run is Jay. He's not going to get it. It's going to roll toward the track. Cut off by Holiday. 3 runs are going to score. Cody Ashley is at second base. A 3-run double, and the Phillies take the early lead. Double number 9 for Cody Ashley. He now has 21 runs batted in. He did a nice job. That pitch was out toward the outer edge of the plate, and he just went with it.
He did a great job. And here again, you got a guy that's throwing this hard. You don't really need a big swing. You just need to get the barrel of the bat to the ball, and that's exactly what Cody did, and drove it through the left center field gap. And wow, did you see John Mayberry take off from first base? That's a good swing right there. John Mayberry was on Dominic Brown's tail between 2nd and 3rd. You knew he was going to score on that double. That's a great hustle.
Well, now Cameron Rupp with a runner at 2nd. And the first pitch is inside, 1-0. 3-run double. Cameron Rupp was hitting just 167 down in AAA. But he had 6 home runs and 18 runs batted in. A little disappointing batting average wise. Certainly has some pop though. So that one fouled toward Kendrick. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's Kyle on deck. Well, there's that slider, and that's where the trouble sometimes occurs for Martinez. That pitch was up. Cameron just fouled it off. Chopper left side. Ashe reads it well. He'll go to third. And Rupp is retired. One man down. 5-3 on the putout to get Cameron Rupp. And Kyle Kendrick will be the hitter. Kyle taking a long look over at Pete McCannon in the third base coach's box. The Cardinals are going to play the infield in. You have Revere on deck. Pitchers have done their job during this series for the Phillies. At least A.J. Burnett and Cole Hamels have. Swing and a miss. 0-1. 99 on that fastball. If you're wondering about a squeeze in this spot or a safety squeeze, Kyle has not bunted well this year. He's really struggled. He's just challenging him with 98, 99 miles an hour with that fastball. And Kendrick has struck out. First strikeout for Martinez. And that'll bring Ben Revere to the plate. If you're Ben here, would you think about laying a bunt down?
Possibly so, yeah. But it looks like you got the third baseman playing in, even with the bag to start. Taking it with you may not be. Martinez falls off the mound. That to that side, pretty good. You just hit the ball hard on the ground somewhere. He's got a real good chance if he hits the ball hard on the ground.
Well, in the outfield, John Jay is as shallow as you'll see a center fielder against Ben Revere, shaded over toward left center. Holiday is also shallow, shaded over toward the left field line. 1 ball and 1 strike to Revere. Ben said the reason he hadn't played much because of that knee. He said that it was really hampering his speed game. But he was trying to get himself back for yesterday's ball game against Wainwright. Ryan Sandberg just felt like Mayberry was swinging the bat well enough that he wanted to give him another chance. Revere is struck out. Back-to-back strikeouts for Martinez. So Cody Ashe's 3-run double has given the Phils the early lead. This fastball he just drove toward the alley in left center field. Pretty sweet swing. And the train just kept on moving. 7:05. The game is followed by the Xfinity Fireworks Show. Sunday at 1:35, the Rothman Institute Dominic Brown jersey, free to fans 14 and under. You can get tickets by going to Phillies.com. Well, Kyle Kendrick has a 3-run lead to work with as we go to the bottom of the second, thanks to that guy right there, Cody Ashe.
Cody just coming off his rehab assignment, actually was swinging the bat quite well on his rehab assignment, and continues to swing the bat well. I know earlier in this series, was his first game back, swung the bat very well, had nothing to show for it, but hit the ball hard 3 times. So
yeah, he was robbed by Matt Adams a couple times over at first. First pitch to Alan Craig is outside, 1-0.
It's good to see him get rewarded for a good swing. And it's nice to see ducks on the pond, right?
Absolutely, even though one was really painful. 1 ball and 1 strike. Out of play. Here at Busch Stadium, Kyle is 3-2 lifetime with an ERA of 3.69. This is his 6th start, his 8th appearance overall. Chopper to third. Ashe charges. He's got it. Has time. 1 out. 4 up, 4 down, and Yadier Molina's coming up. Well, we've been talking about the starting staff during this road trip and how good they've been. They're averaging 7 1/3 innings. It includes A.J. Burnett's 9 innings, his complete game the other night, and Roberto Hernandez's 6 innings against the Atlanta Braves. And Kyle Kendrick also part of that. He threw 7 innings, 2 runs against the Atlanta Braves the other day. And Murph, we talked about how important it was for Kyle to get off to a good start in that game. He's made some adjustments in his preparation for games.
He has, Tom. You know, this is a situation we've seen time and time again with Kyle. The Phils get some early runs for him, and he was in that habit of giving them right back. But his last game against the Atlanta Braves, he did make some pregame adjustments. I asked him about that. He said that he went out for warm-ups about 10 minutes earlier than he normally does, and then he got back into the dugout and kind of just rested. He went over the Cardinal or the Braves lineup one more time just to get it in his head. But he thought maybe he was a little bit too amped up when he was coming out in the first and second innings. Maybe the adrenaline was pumping a little much, so he wanted to give himself a little bit of time. He did that again today. We'll see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, and, you know, Jamie, you know this better than anybody. You adjust as your career goes on. Sometimes you have issues like that you have to sort of tinker with.
Yep, that's most definitely. You're right, Tom. That does happen, and you do have to have an awareness to it first. And I'm sure Kyle has an awareness to it. Now it's a matter of what adjustment do I make? And I know he's probably tried several adjustments, and I don't think he really had one that really stood out for him, except until the previous time in Atlanta where he sat down for a little bit. And I really like that adjustment. It looks like it's worked well for him.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Molina. And he lines one out toward right field. Mayberry coming on, and he makes the shoestring grab. 2 outs here in the second. It looked like he was indecisive as to whether he was going to play that one on a hop or go down and try to pull it off the top of the grass.
It's a great effort by John. I think you're right, Tom. I think he thought maybe a sliding feet first or diving, and I think he was in between until he finally said, I got to make a decision, and he did it. It was a great play. You know, it's not a bad chance to take up 3-0, considering Molina's running. If for some reason it gets by him, it's probably not going to go all that far. And Molina, you know, he might get a triple out of that.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, well, then forget what I said. Utley to his left throws out John Jay. 6 up, 6 down for Kyle Kendrick here in St. Louis to begin this start. Nothing across. We'll go to the third. Phillies 3, Cardinals nothing. Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, JB. Who was the first Cardinals manager to take his team to postseason in each of his first 2 full seasons? Answer will be revealed in just a little bit. It's some good managers here. That's going to be a tough one for you to decipher, filter through. Top of the third, Jimmy Rollins will lead it off against Carlos Martinez. Rollins takes a strike. It's 0-1. Rollins lined out to right his first time up. Outside. Back toward the middle, knocked down by Martinez. Yeah, there's one away.
Not quite sure that you would teach your pitcher to throw the ball to first base that way.
Well, we see some strange things, but I agree with you, particularly with someone that potentially has the speed of Rollins. Now, Jimmy was moving down the first base line.
If you're a pitcher at home, please don't watch this replay. That's really not the way you teach somebody to throw the ball to first base. Catch the ball, gather up, turn your body, crow hop and throw, or move yourself over and underhand it, either way. But I would choose the crow hop and throw.
I thought the throw the other day that Burnett had to second base, that's the way you fire it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That was a great play.
Utley back to the box. All right, so this time he leads Adams to the bag. Is that a little better?
That's a lot better than whatever you want to call the first one. I can't believe how many comebackers the Cardinals pitchers have had this series. It's been easily over a half a dozen. We just saw 2 there. There was, I think Wainwright had 4.
Yeah. There's A.J. Burnett. He had that comebacker back to the mound the other night where he turned a double play, a 1-6-3 double play. Ryan Howard is the batter. Howard singled his first time up and then came around to score on the double by Cody Ashe. Back toward the middle, off the glove of Martinez, picked up by Carpenter, throws to first, not in time. Another one back toward the box. And that'll be the second hit of the day for Howard.
That one was hit quite hard.
Yeah. Carpenter still had a chance to throw Howard out, but he was able to leg it out.
Cardinal pitchers have had 10 1-3 putouts this series.
4-game series, 10 1-3 putouts. That's a considerable amount. Mayberry was hit by a pitch his first time up. There's that slider now. Mayberry was geared up for the fastball, but that slider was up in the zone. That's where I think he runs into trouble, particularly against left-handers, not much righties, but left-handers, as it comes back into their swing. To our right, out of play. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. Town is known for a lot of things, but known more for their Budweiser than anything else. Swing and a miss. Now that was a good pitch. Third strikeout for Martinez. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left for the Phillies. We've played 2.5. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Johnny Peralta will lead it off for the Cards. Pennsylvania Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Buy W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. 3-0 Phils. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Well, out in the ballpark village, folks are watching themselves in the ballpark village. And also the Cardinals and the Phils game on the big screen. Over 300 people sit in that AT&T rooftop. And they are baking right now because it is hot. Temperatures again into the 90s today. It rained last night. There's pretty good thunderstorms coming through this area last night. Even this morning.
That was my alarm clock.
Thunder and lightning this morning.
It almost knocked me off my bed.
1-0 pitch to Peralta. That's in for a strike, 1-1. We were fortunate yesterday to get through that game without the thunderstorms because it was getting cloudy. That one just missed inside, and now it's 2-1.
I was curious about Rafael Furcal. I thought maybe we'd see him this series, and just found out he has a strained hamstring and went on the DL again today.
They've been playing second base for the Marlins. Over to third, off the glove of Ashe into shallow left field. A base hit, the first one of the game for the Cardinals. Just off the pinky of the glove and under it as it leaked out toward left center field. I should say left field. Mark Ellis will be the hitter. Ellis hitting 189. He's 0 for 8 lifetime against Kyle Kendrick. He bunts, foul. It's interesting. You bunt with the pitcher on deck. Runner at first.
I have a feeling maybe if he gets on, they both get on, they might pitch hit for him. He's already got 50-some pitches, 52 pitches. He's probably not going to get real much deeper in this game. They don't have somebody up, but I'm sure they could get, if you get a couple guys on, they'd get up, get somebody up quickly.
Just off the outer edge, 1-1. Kendrick trying to get the double play ball here. He has 3 ground ball outs so far. 3 of the 6. Over to third, that's a foul ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Peralta goes back to first base. Cardinals have hit into 69 double plays on the year. Put it in perspective, the Phillies have hit into 32, which is the least amount. And a called strike 3. Was that the curveball? Or was that a changeup?
I think it was a changeup. Pretty hard to be a curveball.
81 miles an hour. It was up. That's a changeup. Second strikeout. First out here in the third. And now Martinez. Now you figure Martinez is going to try to bunt Peralta up into scoring position. With 1 man down.
Ex-shortstop now.
Well, there's a reason he's pitching, though, Jamie. He takes outside, 1-0.
You never know, Tom.
Well, he was 0 for 5 last year as a hitter, Carlos Martinez. And he's hitless this year in just 3 at-bats. bunts to the right side. And Howard will make the play. Up to second goes Peralta. 2 outs here in the third. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Here's Matt Carpenter, who grounded out to second. His only time up.
Phillies have done a pretty good job this series keeping Matt Carpenter off base. Kid that's got pretty good bat control and very good at, I believe, very good plate discipline. Knows the strike zone, handles the bat well, gets on base, and is a catalyst for this offense. And it pitched him very well.
No balls and 1 strike. He's been on base with 2 walks and 2 hit batsmen. He's also been on base once with a hit. He's not happy about that pitch right there, that cutter on the inner half. No balls and 2 strikes. Ryan Sandberg was saying yesterday, as we look at this pitch, it's pretty close.
It's actually a pretty good pitch.
Yeah. Said yesterday back and forth, he goes, the Cardinals were chirping at Larry Vanover and he'd adjust his strike zone a little bit. Then the Phillies were chirping at Larry Vanover and he'd adjust his strike zone a little bit. Fly ball left center field. Ben Revere is out there. And Kendrick will work around the leadoff infield single by Johnny Peralta. No runs, 1 hit. The first hit of the game for the Cardinals. We're a third of the way through. Dominic Brown will lead it off. Ashe in the second have the early lead. Time now for our Geico quote of the day. Matt Carpenter, who just flied out to center field to end the bottom of the third, talking about his team's offensive struggles. I wouldn't say there's a single guy who is doing what they are capable of doing. There's some guys who are having good years, but is everybody doing what they usually do on a consistent basis? No. Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, and myself, are we 380 slugging hitters? No. But that's what's going on. That was part of that meeting yesterday around second base that we talked about, where they're trying to collectively and individually change things. I think one of the big glaring issues for the Cardinals has been their numbers with runners in scoring position this year. Now, overall, they're 8th in the league in hitting. They're having trouble scoring runs. Martinez makes a fine play to get Brown. There's 1 out here in the 4th. But they're about 80 points down with runners in scoring position compared to last year. They're 2 for 19 with runners in scoring position in this series.
Well, with the pitching that they're getting, the starting pitching that they're getting, you'd think they'd be, if you just looked at their starting pitching numbers, you would think they'd be running away with this division. But with their offense kind of in the middle of the pack and not driving runners in when they have them in scoring position, and that's the telltale sign.
Well, here's Cody Asche, who was the star of the day right now. His 3-run double earlier in the game has helped the Phils to this lead. He lines one out towards center, and Jay makes the catch. 2 outs. That 3-run double by Asche is the first one of his big league career. First time that he's had an opportunity that has paid off by driving in 3 with a double.
Here is that double. Just a fastball that's running away. Pretty hard fastball, about a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And like I said, just getting the barrel to the zone with a guy throwing this hard, he generates most of the power. So you're creating the bat speed.
Cameron Rupp 0 for 1.
I think he calls that pitch a strike all day. The Phillies have no chance. That ball's below the zone.
You got to chirp at him a little bit, Jamie. Then he'll adjust.
I'm not allowed to do that from up here, am I, Tom?
That's foul off to the right. Well, Larry's made a career out of it over in the radio booth. You just have to pick your spots. You have to realize I can't really hear you from up here. Swing and a miss. Side is retired. That was 100 miles an hour with that fastball. 8-pitch inning. Phillies lead at 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Local Delaware Valley Honda dealer, shophonda.com. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Phillies are up 3-0 thanks to the 3-run double by Cody Asche earlier in the game. Matt Holliday is going to lead things off for the Cardinals. It's time now for our Mazda leaders. We talk about Holliday, and he's among the Major League Baseball's hit leaders since 2006. Ichiro leads the way. Cabrera is right on his tail. Cabrera had another hit today. Robinson Cano, Adrian Gonzalez, and then Matt Holliday.
As we've said in our pregame, he's been a big contributor when he played in Colorado and here in St. Louis. His offense is the biggest part of his game. He's a very adequate left fielder with a very adequate arm, but what he can do offensively in making a pitcher work, driving the ball to the ballpark, hitting to the situation, and just him in the lineup, wherever he's put in that lineup, and it's usually in the upper part of the lineup, it makes a big difference.
Well, as we mentioned, when Pujols was here, he was kind of the protector of Pujols. And then Beltran was here, and he was combining with Beltran in the middle of the order. Now he's all these young guys, and he's the veteran. Kendrick's first pitch to him here in the bottom of the fourth, off the end of the bat foul, 0-1.
And I think he's gained the reputation of becoming a first ball swinger. I think the Phillies have pitched him that way. Just from watching these 4 games here, they've pitched him that way. The first pitch usually isn't a fastball right down the middle.
Well, that's the strike that Rupp had called on him at the top of the fourth. Kendrick comes right back with the sinker, and it's 0-2. There was the curveball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He'll throw that pitch the least amount, the curveball.
First one he's thrown today.
Still good to throw it, though. Thought that was a strike. He's looking in, wishing that the home plate umpire saw it the way he did. Holiday stays alive. Jimmy, you mentioned that Holiday likes to swing at the first pitch. He has the 6th highest first pitch percentage in Major League Baseball.
Put in play or for hits?
Just
would be put in play.
Just swinging at first pitch. 42.9%. 2-2 pitch to him. He rips it foul.
Yeah, when you face a guy like that, it's almost like you're facing him with somebody on base. Because you know his aggressiveness can get him out real quick. He can. I'm sure. I'd be interested to see how many first pitch outs he's made in his career. Probably a fair amount, but I'll guarantee he's probably had more success off the first pitch than he has had failure. But yeah, he's a guy you go up and he comes to the plate and you say, all right, I got to pitch to him like I've got guys on base.
Over to third. Ashe backs up on it. Made it a tougher play. Slings it across the diamond in time. There's 1 out. WB Mason has a midseason acquisition you can't pass up. During June only, get a Dymo LM160 label maker for just $9.99. Visit WBMason.com and order yours now while supplies last. Well, there was a sense of indecision on Cody's part, and he almost played that into a mistake.
Yeah, Cody he had a little bit of trouble with that earlier in the season as well. I think once you make your decision, you've got to, it's almost like he was in between. Sometimes you get stuck in between like that. The ball takes a funny hop on you.
He's conversing with Rollins about it right now. Well, he adjusted. He did a good job of adjusting too, because that was not an easy play as it turned out. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It came up to him, and he had his body partially turned, and he had time, but then he had to turn his body around again to make that throw across the diamond.
See where he starts.
As the ball was hit, he knew it was going to be to his left side. He just kind of turned his body into it and kind of waited for that ball to come to him. As they say in the infield, you make your hops. So you've got to choose what you're going to do. If you're going to charge it, if you're going to wait for it, if you're going to back up on it. But usually when you back up on a ball, there's some balls that you can back up on, but usually when you back up on the ball, it plays you. You don't play it.
Yeah, I don't know if he saw it right away off the bat, which is why he did that.
Well, that's possible too with the background here. A lot of people back behind home plate with white shirts on.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Adams. And it's 2-2. Fly ball center field. That's well hit. Revere going back toward the wall. It is off the top of the wall, and it gets away from Revere. Fortunately, Adams wasn't really moving and doesn't move all that well. And he's at second with a 1-out double. 17th double of the season for Adams.
As that ball was hit, I thought it had a chance to maybe to go out of the ballpark. You got a backdoor cutter that stayed up a little bit, but just looked like the ball kept carrying. I was trying to watch Ben as well. And at one point, he just took off and hit it to the wall.
First extra base hit of the day for the Cardinals. Just their second hit against Kendrick. Alan Craig is the batter. He grounded out to Ashe his first time up on a slow roller to third. Kendrick, his last 2 starts, has allowed 1 run and 2 runs. So 3 runs in his last 13 innings of work. 1 ball, 1 strike to Craig. That one was a little farther out than the last pitch, so it's 2-1.
Kyle's 10 outs thus far today. He's got 4 ground ball outs, 5 ground ball outs, 3 fly ball outs, 2 strikeouts. Try to get a pretty good rip at that pitch right there. I think he just missed that ball.
By his reaction, I think he feels the same way.
I think he needs either go something hard in here, running in on him, or something soft down.
Two balls, 2 strikes. They went soft down. It's 3-2.
Actually, what came back to me was in our pregame highlight. He threw that sinker that ran in. He swung right over it. Remember that?
Yeah.
In our pregame highlight.
Tell you at a Major League scoreboard, the first place Nationals are shutting out the Braves 3-0. Game's at the top of the 6th. Nationals are 2-7 this year against the Atlanta Braves. The second win was last night. Now the 3-2 pitch. And he fouls it off the glove of Rupp.
I'm sure Kyle is well aware of who's on deck, and Molina, who's a guy who's hard to strike out and does put the ball in play a lot. Getting the second out here would be big for Kyle at this point of the game.
Cameron Rupp out to chat with Kyle. Rupp's done a nice job today. his first few innings handling Kendrick.
Looks like Marlin and Buchanan, or David Buchanan, are having a nice conversation about hitting and pitching in the dugout.
Up high, ball 4. That'll put 2 on with 1 out. And here comes Yadier Molina. Yadier flied out to right his first time up. Nice play by John Mayberry, tracking it down. All right, so the first real issue for Kendrick here this afternoon. 2 on with 1 out. Rupp lays down some signs. And a liner out toward right field. That'll drop in front of Mayberry. The runners move up a base. So bases loaded with 1 out. And John Jay is the batter. Adams had to wait just to make sure that Mayberry wasn't going to catch that ball. So that's why he held up at third. John Jay hit 1 out toward Utley his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Well, there have been some key double plays by the Phillies during this series, during this road trip. And they could use one right here to keep this 3-0 lead. Jay has really bared down during his career with the bases loaded. Hitting over 360 in these spots. Outside, 1-0.
The Cardinals have shown throughout this series that they're going to be very aggressive early in the count. So it's really important for Cal to be making quality pitches right here.
He's missed at the same spot with these first 2. Bob McClure lurking in the dugout. No time for a visit yet, but it's 2 balls and no strikes to John Jay. Phillies have frustrated the Cardinals all series long with runners in scoring position, trying to do it once again. And a line drive base hit to right field. 1 run is in. Being held at third is Alan Craig. It's a 3-1 ball game. An RBI single for John Jay. And the bases remain loaded for Johnny Peralta. Well, now Bob McClure's coming out to pay Kendrick a visit. Pitch was just left up in the zone there.
Yeah, again, another cutter. Kyle's kind of fallen in love with that cutter. I haven't really seen too many off the body sinkers to the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, no two seamers. I agree with you on that.
That has proven at times to be a very good pitch for him.
So it's a 3-1 ball game here in the 4th. Johnny Peralta reached on an infield hit his first time up off the glove of Cody Ashe at third. Actually, the ball wound up going into shallow left field. This rally began with a double by Matt Adams off the center field wall. And a looper back toward the middle into center field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Molina. That's going to tie the ball game up, and Howard can't get the ball out of his glove to get Jay at third. It's a 3-3 game, and the rally continues for the Cardinals. A 2-run single for Johnny Peralta. He has 30 RBIs, and he's 2 for 2. And they had Jay caught at third.
It's like a sinker that's left on the plate, inner third of the plate.
Probably wanted to cut that ball off at second base because he knew that Jay was heading to third, and they had a play there. So he's over at third. On first is Peralta. Mark Ellis is the batter. He struck out looking his first time up.
Both Peralta and Molina's hits were first pitches. So again, we talked about them being aggressive early in the count. Today it's worked in their favor.
Outside, 1-0. Bullpen action. Mario Hollins is up for the Phils. Bullpen is rested. Wonder what the Cardinals will do with their pitcher who's in the on deck circle if Ellis doesn't come through here, and he has come through in limited times. Well, the runner's at third with less than 2 outs. And Ellis bunts. Safety squeeze. That's going to get the run home. Ellis is tagged out. It's a 4-3 Cardinals lead. Griot assisted on the putout. And Martinez will bat here in the bottom of the 4th. That was a good bunt.
Very good one. Actually, Kyle tried to throw that ball up and in. And Ellis did a great job of squaring that ball up, getting the barrel of the ball and just getting it down and bunting it to first base.
Well, it's a little thing, but the base hit by Peralta with Revere trying to get it home on the throw when they had Jay caught at third is a big deal right now because that's the 4th run. Martinez hits one back to the mound barehanded by Kendrick. And the side is retired. But the Cardinals put a 4th spot on the board. Here at the bottom of the 4th inning, they send 8 men to the plates. We'll go to the 5th. The Phillies now trail it by 1 with Kendrick due to lead it off. who was the first Cardinals manager to take his team to the postseason in each of his first 2 full seasons. Now, they've had some good ones here, obviously. Tony La Russa being arguably the best.
Yeah.
Whitey Herzog.
I was racking my brain, and I couldn't think of too many managers, so I was going to just today take Mike Matheny as my guess.
Mike Matheny is correct. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Mike Matheny took over for Tony La Russa. Didn't really have a whole lot of baseball coaching experience aside from coaching his kids, and done a very nice job now in his 3rd year here in St. Louis. Kendrick leads it off and takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies down 4-3. There is bullpen action for the Cardinals.
When you talk about Mike Matheny as a manager, I think he does things very simple. It's just play the game the way it's supposed to be played and really focus on fundamentals. And not only does he do that here with his team, this is what the Cardinal organization stresses as well.
Nick Greenwood's the lefty warming up. And Kendrick is struck out. Molina drops the ball, but Kendrick walks away. 5 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, thanks, Tom. Well, the Phils working on trying to get the lead back in this game, and it's been a good trend over the past couple of weeks what they've been able to do with run differential. If you take a look at these numbers, on June 1st they'd been outscored 214 to 246. That's a -32 run differential. But since then they've outscored, including today, 79-72. They've outscored their opponent for a +7. So knocking that number down, and when you look at stats and you look at numbers, run differential is a biggie in terms of wins and losses, obviously. So it's good to see that number heading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the success the Oakland A's have had this year, and the A's are probably the prime example of what Murph's talking about for run differential.
They were a +90 something the last time I looked.
Yeah, they've been very good. They're 47-28. They lead the West in the American League. In fact, they have the best record in baseball. They've scored 383 runs. 2-1 is in there for strike. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. A's are +136 coming into today. +7's good, Murph, but +100 and something for anybody is very good.
That's pretty darn good.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Revere. Martinez has retired 10 of the last 11 batters. And Revere lines it out to short, caught by Peralta. 2 away. And Jimmy Rollins will walk to the plate. Rollins is hitless at 2 at-bats. He's lined out. He's grounded out. Well, the second inning, when he threw 29 pitches, he allowed the 3 runs. The Phillies unfortunately left Cody Ashe over at third with less than 2 outs. Rollins lifts it into foul territory on the first base side. Adams, the first baseman, is under it. Makes the catch. Side is retired in order. Phillies are making it look easy for Carlos Martinez ever since the second. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's 4-3 St. Louis. Playbook of good citizenship brought to you by Citizens Bank. Jamie, did you know that the Red Goes Green team can be seen at every Phillies home game collecting recyclable plastic and aluminum bottles throughout Citizens Bank Park? For more information on volunteering for the Red Goes Green team, visit Phillies.com/RedGoesGreen. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. Phillies ball girls are usually leading the charge for that Red Goes Green team. You'll see them tomorrow night when the Phils and the Marlins get underway. Game 1 of a 4-game series. Ceremonies before the ball game honoring Jimmy Rollins. Matt Carpenter will lead it off against Kendrick here in the bottom of the 5th. All right, Kyle needs to settle back in here. Pretty easy first 3 innings. Not so easy 4th inning. Fly ball to left field. And 1 out for Matt Holliday, who's 0 for 2. Now Justin DeFreitas starts the throw for the Phils in their bullpen. You would think for Martinez for the Cardinals, his day is done. Greenwood starting to throw again for St. Louis, and the Phillies have Utley and Howard due to start at the top of the 6th. There's DeFreitas. There's Greenwood. Holliday's chirping a little bit at the home plate umpire.
That's no surprise.
Is he a chirper?
A little bit. We saw it happen a little bit yesterday, too.
Yeah. Larry Vanover, the third base umpire today, was the home plate umpire in yesterday's ball game. Neither team was all too pleased with Larry Vanover's strike zone yesterday. Cole Hamels was not happy on several occasions. Ryan Sandberg said, you know, there was a period in the dugout where Cole and Carlos Ruiz were fairly demonstrative with each other, and Ryan Sandberg said that it was about the strike zone. Cole walked 5 yesterday and allowed 5 hits and struck out 8. 1-2 pitch. He's got him to bite after that curveball. It's 2-2. Balls and 2 strikes. Trying to find that put away pitch to get Matt Holliday. Holliday's 2 for 20 lifetime against Kendrick. Kind of the 0 for 2 today. Out towards center field, and Revere will put it away for the 2nd out. Fans, follow every Phillies game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv team, the game of the day, and much more. Download on the App Store. Visit Phillies.com today. Warm day. You need some coverage. Pretty sharp hat for that little guy. Adams down the left field line. And it's 0-1. Adams started the rally in the fourth with the double. Not get cheated.
Well, you see what he does with the ball in. That's, you know, I'd let him hit that ball all day. That's a free strike.
You know what his nickname is?
I do not.
Big City. Now the 0-2 pitch to him. Big City sends it a big way out towards center, but it's playable for Revere. And a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Kendrick. So 3 fly balls, and Kendrick is through the 5th. We'll go to the 6th. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, John Mayberry due up for the Phillies when we return. Is the all-time hits leader for a franchise that has existed since 1883. Jimmy Rollins delivered his first hit in his major league debut and has delivered on cue for his team and the city of Philadelphia for 15 seasons. Among the leaders in almost every offensive category in Phillies history, Jimmy's baseball card on the back is overflowing with a career of offensive success. The hits torch has officially been passed for the Phillies. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Phillies will honor Jimmy Rollins prior to tomorrow's ball game against the Miami Marlins. First things first, though, the Phillies trail it by 1 here in St. Louis as we go to the top of the 6th inning, and the Cardinals will bring Nick Greenwood in. Greenwood's only pitched in a couple of games. And he's on for Carlos Martinez. Hey, give Martinez credit. He struck out 5 over 5 innings. The way that second inning was going, I didn't think he'd last the third.
Yeah, he quickly found a slider, actually. And it's pitched at pregame when we were doing some research. Didn't find a whole lot of numbers on the slider. It said he threw a lot of curveballs, more so than the slider.
Well, Cody Ashley's 3-run double is it for the Phils. So now the Cardinals go to their bullpen. 26-year-old Nick Greenwood out of Kingston, Rhode Island. Delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Former draft pick of the San Diego Padres back in 2009. Didn't make it to the big leagues with the Padres, but now makes it here with the Cardinals. He was a starter and a reliever during his minor league career. Made 47 starts and 218 appearances overall. One ball, two strikes. Elliott struck out, one away. That's 6 strikeouts for Cardinals pitching. It's time now for the AT&T fan photo of the game. Marianne Pasquella provides us with our shot of the afternoon. And thank you, Marianne. We appreciate that picture. Tweet your photo to #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Howard, 2 for 2. See what Howard's done against left-handers this year. Hitting only .203. Was probably pretty nasty when he was in college at the University of Rhode Island, just by his windup alone. He throws strikes, he must be uncomfortable to pick up. Inside, 2-1.
Yeah, he's fairly quick with his delivery, and his fastball's slightly below average, but for a lefty, he gets up there pretty quick. But his breaking those sliders quite slow.
Outside, 3-2. Made his major league debut the other day, relieving Martinez, and Martinez's spot start for Wainwright, and he got the win. In fact, he's the first Cardinals pitcher to debut, relief pitcher, to debut with a victory since 1988. And now John Mayberry's the hitter.
Also very aggressive with all 3 of his pitches.
Check swing, 1-1. He is the 5th Rhode Island Ram to make it to the major leagues. Did you play Rhode Island when you were at St. Joseph's?
I did. We did. In the Atlantic 10.
Yep. Still play them. The last Ram to make it to the big leagues was Dave Stenhouse back in '64. A little bit of a drought for URI. One ball, one strike to Mayberry. Mayberry hits it out towards center field. Jay will get there. 2 outs. And back to first goes Howard, and Dominic Brown's coming up. Brown takes a swing at the first pitch and rolls it foul. It's 0-1. Dominic today is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Well, that was a hanger right there.
Notice throughout the series, Carpenter at third base really plays off the line. And the left-handed hitters at the plate, more so than usual, I think, than your typical third baseman.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah. Popped him up left side of the infield. Peralta, the shortstop, shading his eyes from the sun, makes the catch. And the side is retired. Scoreless inning for Greenwood in relief of Carlos Martinez. Middle of the 6th. Cardinals lead it by 1. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF-NOW for an appointment. By Budweiser. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Warm afternoon here in St. Louis. Second day of summer. Phillies only with 3 hits today. They only have 1 hit since the 2nd. And they'll send Kyle Kendrick back to work here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kendrick will face Alan Craig, Yadier Molina, and John Jay. Fred Bird was storming around the field with some of the other storm. They call storm busters. I can't remember what they call them, but anyway, shooting shirts into the crowd. Foul tip by Craig. It's 0-1. Craig is 0 for 1. He grounded to third. He walked. Pretty extensive at bat his last time up against Kendrick during that 4-run 4th. One and one. This is going to be Kyle's last inning. He's due to bat in the bottom of the, or excuse me, the top of the 7th inning. Line drive, base hit to left field. And a leadoff single for Alan Craig. Yadier Molina is coming up. Well, I guess Yadier's out of the slump he was in here in the month of June. He was hitting under 200. When the Phillies arrived here in St. Louis. But he has 4 hits and 10 at bats during this series. Got to run him out there every day, Jamie. He's not going to get a day off. I thought maybe he'd get a day off today.
Yeah, I thought maybe 2. But you're not going to get out of your slump sitting on the bench.
Plus, he's a .335 career hitter against the Phillies. 0-1.
Almost half of Kyle's pitches today have been cut fastballs. He really has gone away from the sinker today, more so than usual. And like I said earlier, you know, that throwing that sinker off the left-hander's hip, I haven't seen that at all today.
The last time he pitched here in St. Louis was that complete game shutout in 2012. That day, that two-seamer was working pretty good. It's foul territory down the right field line. Long run for everyone. It drops into no man's land. 0-2 to Molina. Next Sunday, when the Phillies wrap up their series against the Atlanta Braves, all fans 14 and under, thanks to the folks at the Rothman Institute, receive the Dominic Brown jersey. Replica jersey. Tickets can be purchased any time at Phillies.com. Would be the home jersey. See there on your screen. Off. It's 1-2. To the right side. This could be 2, even though it's not hit that hard. There's 1, and that's all they'll get. He's the throw pulled Rollins off the bag. He applies the tag. And there's 1 away. Fielder's choice, 4-6 on the putout.
You see Molina takes an off-balance swing. It's a 2-hopper to Chase. And Chase actually, it didn't look like he got enough on it. And Jimmy's momentum kind of came. Jimmy kind of had a reach for that ball, and I think it actually took him off the bag. The timing wasn't quite there.
Right.
So Jimmy made sure that he got 1 out.
Well, those guys have played more games together than any double play combination, active double play combination in baseball. And like they always say, usually one knows exactly what the other's going to do at all times. No balls, 1 strike to John Jay. Out towards short, off the glove of Rollins, and everybody will be safe. It's going to wind up being the 7th error of the season for Rollins. The ball was hit hard. I guess I shouldn't assume they may give him a hit on that.
The ball was hit hard. The cutter in the center of the plate. Jay gave him a base hit on that ball. It's hit very hard right at Jimmy. Actually, Jimmy's backhand kind of short hopped him.
It's not an easy job to be an official scorer. That ball, playing a double play depth, got on him pretty quickly. That's a play that Jimmy would normally make, and it would be a double play. I think they could have easily given him an error on it, even though it was smoked. So first and second now. They got to go after Peralta again, who had a 2-run single his last time up. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Trying to keep himself as dry as possible. Keeps wiping his hands and his arm on his uniform top. Over to third. Ashe backs up on it, goes to second. He slipped, and they do get Jay. And there are 2 outs. 5-4 on the putout. Runners on first and third for Mark Ellis. Now that one, he kind of had it back up on it. The way the ball was hit, where he was playing.
The ball looked like it had a lot of top spin to it.
Kendrick needs to make a pitch here.
Came up on him kind of like the other one did, but it was to the other side. It was backhand.
He's fortunate that throw got to Utley because he slipped. His back foot slipped as he let go of that throw. Ellis had a safety squeeze his last time up. Got an RBI. No time at bat. He's 0 for 1. Sam Freeman and other lefties in the bullpen. On first and third, 2 men down here in the bottom of the 6th. Yeah, the 1-1 pitch coming from Kendrick. And a line drive, base hit it to right field. Another run scores. It's a 5-3 ball game. RBI single for Ellis, his second RBI of the day. Well, the potential double play that Molina hit into and the ball that John Jay hit haven't helped Kendrick in this inning. Now he trails it by 2.
Fastball pretty much right down the middle. Up the middle of his quad. Mark Ellis doing what he does so well, is hit the ball the other way.
Earlier today, the Cardinals made a roster move. Colton Wong, their second baseman, was placed on the disabled list with a shoulder injury. He injured the shoulder in a series against the Kansas City Royals, and he just wasn't getting better. So they put him on the DL, and they brought up Shane Robinson. And Robinson, the speedster, will be the pinch hitter for St. Louis here in the 6th. Runners at first and third. First and second, excuse me. Robinson has been up here this year. He's a 152 hitter. Curveball high, 1-0. Good season in AAA. Fly ball to center field, Ben Revere. Side is retired, but the Cardinals tack on another run on an RBI single by Mark Ellis. They lead 2. We'll go to the 7th inning here in St. Louis. Phillies down 5-3. Time now for your local Honda dealers game summary. The Cardinals trailed at 3-0 at one point, but then they put a 4 spot up against Kyle Kendrick in the 4th. Added one more in the 6th inning. Cody Ashley gave the Phillies the early lead with a 3-run double in the 2nd. Johnny Peralta a 2-run single. Mark Ellis has 2 RBIs. The guy at the bottom, Carlos Martinez, give him credit. He was all over the place the first couple innings, but then settled in. So now we go to the top of the 7th inning. The Phillies trail at 5-3. Head back to the bullpen for the Cardinals. Sam Freeman, another lefty, who's pitched in 11 ball games so far, will face Cody Ashley. Delivers a strike. It'll be Ashley, Rupp, and then a pinch hitter for Kyle Kendrick. Fly ball, shallow center. John Jay makes the catch, one out. That'll bring camera and Rupp up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away.
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University. And the San Diego Padres are shaking up their front office to missing their general manager today, Josh Burns. The team decided to put their future in someone else's hands, or in a couple of different sets of hands. A.J. Hinch, Fred Ullman, and Omar Minaya, all who have been with the team, will take over and serve as acting general managers. And speaking of the Padres, guys, last night, relief pitcher for the Padres in the 8th inning, Alex Torres, became the first major leaguer to wear the new protective cap. And there you're seeing a look at it. It's a little strange looking. And he said he took some ribbing from some of the folks, but he had a scare in spring training with a line drive that whipped past his head. And he said, if it can help protect my head, I'm going to wear it. So that's what he's doing, guys.
I have to admit, Murph, the picture that we just showed, it looks different than the hat we saw earlier this year in spring training. That is huge.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, Tom. It's much bigger than the one we saw in spring training. He said it takes a little bit of getting used to. It's a little bit heavier than a normal cap would be. There's that protective lining inside. So, it's going to take a little getting used to. But, good for him. If he feels like it's going to help him and give him some peace of mind out there, then he should use it.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Rupp. Would you have ever used it, Jamie? I mean,
I don't believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember where we saw the first one earlier this spring, but I don't remember it looking that big. Inside, 3-2 to Rupp. By the way, the first part of Murph's notebook with A.J. Hinch and Omar Minaya, there had been talk that Hinch could wind up on the field as Bud Black's replacement in the dugout. Rupp is struck out. Cesar Hernandez will be brought up as a pinch hitter here in the top of the 7th inning. So Ryan Sandberg is going to go to his bullpen for the first time in the bottom half of the 7th. Cesar takes outside. It's 1-0. Mario Hollins well rested. No. The outside corner. Now it's 3-2. Hernandez taking 2 strikes. Cardinals bullpen has an ERA of 2.15 coming in to today's ball game in the month of June, which is second best in baseball. And a line drive base hit it to right field for Cesar Hernandez. So the tying run is coming to the plate for the Phils, down 5-3 here in the top of the 7th inning.
Cesar's done a really nice job here in the last week or so, just kind of filling in.
Yeah,
playing as a utility guy, pinch hitting.
His average is up to 256. Cesar, he had a long way to go. All right, so instead of having Bird pinch hit here against the lefty, they decide to stay with Ben Revere, who does hit lefties fairly well. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Phillies have somewhat of a short bench today because of Will Nieves' continued injury to that quad. As we said, he could probably hit if they needed him to, but they wanted to stay away from him. A 1 pitch to Revere in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. In there, 1-2. If they had pinch hit Bird here, they could have moved Mayberry to center. One ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch coming to Ben Revere. Opposite way, backhanded by Peralta. In time, strong arm. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Time to stretch here in St. Louis. Phillies trail the final game of this series by a score of 5-3. Much. We appreciate that. Reminder that tomorrow the Phillies will open up their series against the Miami Marlins. It's 7:05 first pitch. And they will honor Jimmy Rollins becoming the all-time hits leader in Phillies history with a pregame ceremony. So we invite you to get to your seats by 6:45 tomorrow to enjoy that. Also, all fans coming to the ballpark will receive a commemorative print. Order your tickets for the first game and every game on this homestand by going to Phillies.com. Heard Marshall say that he'll be along with Ben Davis for Phillies postgame live coming up right after this ball game, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Murph, did you get a hold of Ben and let him know that you're wearing Sunblock 100 today?
Yeah, Ben likes to make sure that I'm taking care of my skin, and
yeah,
I let him know.
All right, that's good.
My fellow Irishman is looking out for me.
Mario Hollins will commit for his 28th ball game. Hollins 1-1, a 2.55 ERA. So he'll face the top of the order. It'll be Matt Carpenter. Jamie, this is where I think the Phillies bullpen has excelled, at least over these last couple of weeks, particularly the month of June. Close ball game. Keep it close. Give the offense a chance with 2 more at bats.
Yeah, they've all kind of come into their own and brought their specialty to the bullpen, and they've all contributed in their own way. A lot of these kids have a big fastball with a good slider.
There was a point where they were being used a lot, but not recently. The starters have all gone at least 6 innings on this road trip in every game. Kendrick and Roberto Hernandez in 2 of their ball games only went 6, but still everybody else went 7 or more. There's a strike. It's 2-1.
Well, and that's going to happen during the course of the season. At times they're going to feel like they're overworked, and then there's going to be times where they feel like they're underworked.
Right.
And as a bullpen guy, you have to figure out that happy medium to how to stay prepared for both of those types of situations.
2 balls, 1 strike. Back toward the middle, and Utley can't get to it. A base hit for Carpenter. Just his 2nd hit of the series. All right, time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game, and we go all the way back to the 2nd inning. Jamie, on this liner by Yadier Molina.
Yadier Molina hits a sinking line drive, and John Mayberry comes running in. Wasn't sure at first what he was going to do. Go feet first or head first. Chose the head first and turned it into our defensive play of the game by Hyundai.
At that point, Phillies had a 3-0 lead. They've since lost that lead. Carpenter goes. The pitch is a strike. Throw to second is in time. Boy, Cameron Rupp has a gun behind the plate. I mean, he got rid of that, and it got there in a hurry.
There's a ball that was up a little bit. It gives Cameron easier chance to get out of his crouch, but boy, that throw was right on the money. And Carpenter slid right into the tag of Jimmy Rollins.
I thought Carpenter got a really good jump too. I mean, see how fast that ball got down to second base.
Yeah. Cameron had something on that ball.
1 ball, 1 strike to Holiday. Over to first. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Mario Hollins, a likable kid from the Oakland area. It's funny, the other day we were talking about pregame interviews with Larry Anderson, who does the radio interviews, post-game interviews. Larry was trying to decide who he was going to talk to, and he's talked to Mario a couple times already this year. And Mario said, anytime you want somebody to do an interview, anytime somebody doesn't do it and you're stuck, he goes, I'll do it. He likes the $100 gift card you get for doing the pregame interview. He goes, we'll talk about anything.
He's a very knowledgeable kid.
2 balls and 1 strike. Liner over the head of Rollins, a base hit. Second hit of the inning for the Cards. Second hit of the game for Matt Adams. And Alan Craig is due up. Well, DeFreitas is ready if they want to use him. He's got Craig and then Yadier Molina, two right-handers. But Mario has been able to get both righties and lefties out, but here comes Ryan Sandberg. So that may be it for Mario Hollins. Rhino taking the slow walk out to the mound, and there's the signal to the pen. So the right-hander's coming in for the Phils. So pitching change with a runner at first base. Two men down here in the bottom of the seventh inning. We'll be back with Justin DeFreitas right after this. Saturday is photo day at Citizens Bank Park. It begins at 2:05. The game does. But prior to that ball game, you get a chance to get out on the field and take a picture of your favorite Phillies player. It's brought to you by Apple Vacations and presented by Now Resorts and Spas. All fans coming to the ballpark receive a 2014 print. Make your plans. Come out early for photo day. Order tickets at Phillies.com. Justin DeFreitas is the new pitcher for the Phils. Your last look from the brew house out in left center field. That's where the camera sits. Put it in at Busch Stadium. DeFreitas 15 strikeouts in 17 innings. The opposition hitting just 197 against him. Toward left, Dominic Brown coming in. He's not going to be able to get to it. Dropped in front of him for a hit, so that puts runners on first and second with two men down. Alan Craig has been on base 3 times today for the Cardinals. And now Yadier Molina. Phillies bullpen here in the month of June, 3rd in Major League Baseball with a 2.49 ERA. Seattle leads the way. Then the Cardinals, then the Phils, then the Cubs. Cubs actually have the third most innings. That's not surprising for a bullpen in Major League Baseball in the month of June. In the dirt, 2-0.
Let's see where they are at the end of the season. That'll be the telltale sign.
Yeah. Mariners 1.92 here in the month of June. The opposition hitting 193. For the Phillies, the opposition was hitting 165 coming into today in the month of June.
It's pretty good.
Cool. Two-0 pitch. Tell you the Major League scoreboard. In Washington, it's gone final. The Nationals have defeated the Braves 4-1. So Washington's lead in the East is a game and a half over Atlanta. 2.5 over the Marlins. Four and a half over the Phillies and 5 over the New York Mets. Two and 2 to Yadier Molina. Over to third, and Ashe's got it, sets and makes the long throw, not in time. Good job by Howard to come off the bag. That'll be a hit, an infield hit for Yadier Molina. The bases are now loaded for John Jay.
This ball takes Cody back off the back of the infield. He can't get his feet set to make a throw, and that surely would have been one long throw.
Yeah.
To throw even Molina out at first base.
He probably should have just eaten it. Howard was able to come over and smother it. Here's Jay up for the second time today with the bases loaded. He had an RBI single in the fourth with the bases loaded. 1-1 to Jay.
So far today, Jay's been an early count swinger. You need to be very careful here with him.
Off the hands, down the left field line, foul. Oh, 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch coming to Jay. They went upstairs. He didn't fight.
It's a big out here for the Phillies and DeFreitas. This base hit here really kind of opens the game up, and an out right here kind of keeps it in reach here. Phillies, all they need is a base runner to get back into this game.
In the dirt, Rupp blocks it, keeps Adams over at third. Good job. And it's 2-2.
The slider in the dirt, Rupp does a great job getting his body in front of that, and letting that ball just come off his chest and keeps it right in front of him. And then the runners can advance. And Adams, as big as he is, he looked like he had a chance. He was like he was thinking about trying to take home.
And he definitely was.
Had a good secondary lead.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Justin DeFreitas works himself into a little bit of trouble here in the 7th inning, but then gets right on out of it. He leaves them loaded. We'll leave for the 8th inning. Jimmy Rollins due to start things off for the Phils. Baseball is brought to you by Nissan. Get to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. By McDonald's, any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Well, top of the 8th inning, the Phillies down 5-3. As Jamie mentioned, they get a base runner. That means the tying run is coming to the plate. Had some good giveaways here this weekend at Busch Stadium. Today was Hat Day. Cardinals hat, the blue one with the red brim. The gentleman's wearing right there. Given out. Now the Philly fans may have gotten it when they walked in, but they're not wearing them. But the Cardinals hat has the World Series logo on the side. They had the Bob Gibson jersey they gave out the other night. We begin the top of the 8th. Rollins will lead it off against Freeman. And it's 0-1. Jimmy has hit it 15 straight games, but is hitless today. Breaking ball, it's 1-2. Sharply to short. Peralta throws high, and Rollins is safe at first, off the glove of Adams. Peralta's 8th error of the season. So the Phillies have a base runner, and it does mean the tying run is coming to the plate.
Sharply hit ball. Peralta has plenty of time. Just got underneath it and airmailed it.
That's a big first baseman too that he overthrew. Adams got up there though.
You can see when he threw it, his hand was underneath the ball, and he just kind of pushed it over there. Hopefully that's the break the Phillies needed.
Yep, they're only down by 2. Phillies haven't had many opportunities since they scored the 3 runs in the 2nd. They haven't put a runner in scoring position since. As Utley takes upstairs, 1-0. He's 0 for 3. He's flied to left. He's grounded out. He struck out his last time up. Lee Shack is now warming for the Cardinals. One ball and 1 strike. Giles warming for the Phils.
Interesting today, the Cardinals have given Chase a steady diet of fastballs. Couple of changeups. Everything else has been a fastball.
You wouldn't think that.
You would not think that at all.
Well, they've held him in check. He is over 3. There you go again. 2-1.
Just interesting how different clubs pitch to the Phillies hitters.
I think it's interesting from that standpoint, and also the way they align their defense. Now with Howard, it's normally the same general line, but for others it's different from team to team. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
And it's there that you can make a quality pitch with a breaking ball after he's seen so many fastballs. You save those opportunities to make the secondary pitch because he has seen so many fastballs today.
Ground ball foul. Swing and a miss. Utley is struck out on a breaking pitch. Second time he's been struck out today. And now Ryan Howard's coming up.
You see him tripled up on the breaking ball. That would seem a little bit better location, almost a little bit slower.
I think Ryan Howard's going to have a little trouble with Freeman's motion here. Up and in. 1-0. Freeman is from Carrollton, Texas. He went to the University of Kansas. Second round selection by the Cardinals. Baseball terms, I guess you wouldn't consider him young. He's almost 27 years old.
But I would say, looking at left-handed pitchers, I really do believe they mature a little bit later.
Two fastballs right there. Now he's got him set up for that same pitch that he got Utley with. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Phillies down 2. Tying runs at the plate. They're in the top of the 8th.
That was a curveball that didn't break. You get lucky there.
Ryan does have 2 hits today. He's walked the other time. He has 2. The Phillies only have 4 overall. Swing and a miss. He got it. Back-to-back strikeouts. Charles Barkley is one of the most controversial, outspoken, and dominating players in the history of the National Basketball Association. Tomorrow at 5, find out what he thinks of the Sixers in the upcoming NBA draft. Live on Phillies Sports Talk, presented by Comcast Business on Comcast Sportsnet. Freeman is done after an inning and 2/3. He'll get a nice round of applause. He's been very effective. Now Neshek's on to face John Mayberry. He's down 5-3, and they've got the tying run coming to the plate. And it's John Mayberry who'll have to face Pat Neshek. 35th game for Neshek. And he's 1-0 with a 0.89 ERA.
And he's averaging a strikeout per inning.
So he allowed 14 hits.
I think because he's so funky. You know, I mean, he's a little different than what we're used to seeing from a right-handed relief pitcher. Looks like the ball gets on you pretty quick.
Neshek last year pitched with the Oakland A's. He had an ERA of 3.35. He pitched in 45 games. Signed as a free agent in February of this year with the Cardinals. What a pickup he's been. Mayberry takes inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Inside corner. He wasn't always this kind of a pitcher. He was an over-the-top pitcher when he was in high school, but it was toward the end of high school when he switched to being this style of pitcher. Went on to Butler University. He's a Bulldog. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mayberry. Popped him up foul, out of play.
You don't see guys that throw from down here have the velocity that he has. That was a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. They usually rely on a lot of movement or a funky delivery. And he's got the funky delivery. He's got a pretty good fastball.
Just got John Mayberry on strike. So 3 straight strikeouts for the Cardinals bullpen. Cardinals bullpen now has 5 strikeouts, 10 overall. We'll go to the middle of the 8th in a 5-3 game. Phillies post-game live. Ben Davis is going to break this baby down. The Phillies trailing at 5-3 here at the bottom of the 8th inning. It's presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Against its Phillies post-game live. It's coming up at the conclusion of this ball game. Got some soccer going on in the background. Cardinals lead at 5-3. That's the Algeria-Korea match, Jamie. I don't know who you had in that one, but Algeria is running away with it. Teddy Giles will take over.
Who were the scorers in that game?
I was making it up before when I was throwing it out there. Kenny Giles in his 4th game, 6 strikeouts and 3 1/3. Giles on in relief of Justin DeFreitas, trying to give the Phils a ray of hope. Peralta takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Peralta has 2 hits today, 2 RBIs. Upstairs, 2-0. He's only pitched in a couple of games here at the big league level, and his command has been good. Now he's fallen behind 3-0 here to Peralta, and that one missed. And Giles looks like he's hurt. Looks like he got his spike caught out on the mound, and Sean Ficasny, the Phillies athletic trainer, is going to come out. Foot looked like it slipped a little bit, but then I think it might have been the back foot. No, it was the lead foot. Did it look like it slipped a little bit, Jimmy?
It looked like he tried to plan and it kept right on going.
He's going to fire some pitches. Keeps nodding yes, so it looks like he's okay. They're going to let him go, continue on. So runner aboard here in the 8th inning, and Mark Ellis will be the batter. Let's see what they do here with Ellis. You know, they want to get that extra run, and they've got a pinch hitter in the on deck circle. I would think Ellis is up here to bunt, Jamie, don't you?
I would agree 100%. Guy's not hitting for big average. He's not getting a lot of opportunity to play, but fundamentally a pretty sound baseball player.
Yeah, yesterday there were a couple of occasions where both teams could have used the bunt. There's Daniel Descalso in the on deck circle. It's 5 in a row out of the strike zone, but they decided not to. The Phillies had 2 occasions where they could have bunted. One with Mayberry up, one with Ruiz up. And the Cardinals had an occasion where they could have with Alan Craig at the plate. Runner goes, pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second is in time. So Cameron Rupp has gunned down 2. And there's 1 out.
Cameron's hitting the ball awfully well from behind the plate. Pitcher's giving him a chance to throw him out. That helps too.
One thing they raved about with Cameron last year was his setup behind the plate, where the way he received the ball. I don't know if you picked up anything today on how he's been receiving the ball.
I think he gives a good target. I do know that. Looks like he has really soft hands. And I really love when a catcher gives a target and keeps his glove here the whole time so you can look at the glove.
They talked about it. He doesn't jab it at balls.
Right. And that's where the soft hands come into play.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Lead on the 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and it remains 2-2.
You know, and I'm thinking, geez, if I'm a catcher and somebody says I have soft hands and I got to catch a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, that's got to be, you know, to me, it almost seems like an oxymoron.
So there you go. Kept it right there. It's a called strike 3. Ellis thought that pitch was up. You heard Angel Campos, I think you heard him say it's not up.
You see a slider. Might be at the top of the zone, but look how Cameron catches it and just holds it there for the umpire to take a good look-see. Just showing it to him.
2 outs, and Descalso is coming up as a pinch hitter, hitting just a $179. Trevor Rosenthal's warming up in the bullpen for the Cardinals, the closer. Reached that coveted 100 miles an hour since his first appearance. He's still in the high 90s, though.
I think there was a little adrenaline gone in that first appearance.
Not
that there isn't now. But your first major league toss.
Descalso's not close to the fastball yet. He's fouled off a couple of them over the Phillies dugout. And a called strike 3, a slider on the inside part of the plate, and the side is retired. Good job by Giles after the leadoff walk. Couple strikeouts. Trevor Rosenthal's coming on for the top of the 9th. Camps. Enroll your campers today. Receive fitness tips and booklets, posters, and the chance for a fitness visit. A school version of the program is available beginning in late August. Go to Phillies.com/fitness, PHITNESS, for more information. Cardinals 5, Phillies 3. Phillies are 5-1 right now on this road trip. Murph, they're trying to make it 6-1 before they head home to take on the Marlins.
Yeah, one last shot for them, and then as you said, their Phillies will be heading home to take on the Marlins for a 4-game set starting on Monday. Here's your pitching matchups: Roberto Hernandez and Nathan Eovaldi going on Monday. David Buchanan and Andrew Heaney on Tuesday. Burnett versus Alvarez on Wednesday, and then Cole Hamels will get the start on Thursday versus Tom Kohler.
All right, well, Haney's their top prospect. He'll pitch in game 2, as Murph said. So now Rosenthal, and he gets Brown to foul the first pitch back. It's 0-1. Rosenthal with 21 saves and 24 opportunities. He has allowed base runners, 45 in 35 innings of work. I think if Murph tried a little harder, he could have caught that foul ball that Dominic just hit towards Bob McClure. Outside, 1-2. Cardinals are looking for their first win when trailing by 3 or more runs since April 8th. balls, 2 strikes to Dominic Brown. And Dominic grounds it to second base. 1 out. Need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. It'll be Ashe, then Ruiz. Carlos is in the on-deck circle.
It looks a little bit like when Rosenthal's up and away right there to Dominic. It looked like he was kind of what we call running through his mechanics. He picks his leg up and he's already going to home plate. He's got nothing left but arm, and body's way ahead of his arm, and all he's got left, just his arm to throw, and he's underneath the ball and pushes the ball to home plate.
I guess that's why he's not what you would consider lights out as a closer. He's got very good stuff when he's right.
That's pretty nasty right there. 97 at the knees, down and away.
The Phillies have had just 2 hits since Ashe's 3-run double in the second. Ashe pulls it through the hole on the right side, a base hit, and the tying run is coming to the plate. Oh, here's Carlos Ruiz. He'll pinch hit. Marlon Byrd is in the on-deck circle. So Ruiz pinch hits for Rupp. Byrd is in the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the pitcher. There's Marlon. Carlos's numbers as a pinch hitter. He doesn't get a chance to do it that often. 0-2. Didn't look comfortable at all against the 2 left-handers, but now with the righty in the box, he's fired 2 pitches in the same spot.
Pretty close pitch right there.
I don't know how you don't swing at that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ruiz. And Carlos lifts it to right. Craig on the run and can't hang on. Not a whole lot of room out there, and the wall, even though it's small in height, it's imposing as you get over there as an outfielder.
And you see a lot of guys when they get to the wall, they can't stop and they hit their knees on the wall. We saw that with Ben in Atlanta with the center field wall. Hit his knee and was out for a couple days. Even though there's padding there, there's cement behind that padding, and that's not forgiving.
Carlos tried to check. He went around, says the home plate umpire. 2 outs. And Marlon Byrd will be the pinch hitter for the Phillies. Phillies won 5 in a row to start this road trip. Lost yesterday. Tough game. They trail this one 5-3. They've made up a lot of ground. They've done some great work. But they still today talked about finishing up this road trip with 6 wins instead of 5. And carry some momentum into the homestand where they need to start playing better. No balls, 1 strike to Byrd. Runner goes, pitch is taken outside, and Ashe will get to second without a throw. No stolen base. They call it defensive indifference. Marlin fights it off, and it'll be over the dugout and out of play. One ball, 2 strikes to Bird. And the pitch. Another pop up. 98 on that fastball.
He's got a big arm.
Tried to surprise him with something other than a fastball.
Well, he really threw the ball well for the Cardinals last year in the World Series.
Yeah, they had a lot of young pitchers coming out of that bullpen. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bird. And Marlin lines it out towards second. Ellis makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Phillies will settle for a split of this 4-game series against the Cardinals. In the 9th inning, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. They finished the road trip with a 5-2 record. It was a very good road trip for the Phillies. Johnny Peralta had a 2-run single. Earlier in the ball game, he was 2 for 3 with a walk and 2 RBIs, and he is the Chevrolet player of the game. W. Mason deliveries of the game back in the 4th inning. The Cardinals down 3-0. Put a 4 spot on the board, Jamie.
John Jay gets a big hit here to keep the line moving, and then Peralta comes up with another hit, and then the safety squeeze here by Ellis. They did all the little things here to allow them to put themselves back ahead, and those are our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
So that led to the Cardinals' 5-3 victory. 5 runs on 12 hits for St. Louis, 3 runs on 5 hits for the Phillies. So the Phils settle for a split this 4-game series. Not a bad road trip. We'll be back to wrap it up one more time right after this.